So part 3 is being able to set up the equations and represent it in terms of X and or Y, okay? Now, you don't have to use X and Y. You can use the variables in the problem, but right now you're not solving, you're just setting up. So ignore where it says to solve for X. I just was lazy and kept duplicating the slide, okay? So ignore where it says to solve. We are setting up only, okay? Got it? All right.
Single variable.
I accidentally forgot to delete this before I printed it. That's why I was like, I'm just gonna keep it on there for you, okay?
The W and the L.
Yeah, we're just gonna leave it as a model. Okay, it's an L over 2. I forgot to delete before printing. That's why it's on there. So here we go. The length and width of a rectangle whose width is half the measurement of the length. It just wants us to create the equation. On your SAT, there's a lot of just create equation problems, okay? They want you to be able to read the problem and write out the equation. You're not even having to solve. You got to read and create. Does that make sense? So here, what you want to go through is identify your variables. So you read and then you identify your variables. So for this problem, we had a L and a W, length and width, right? Okay. And then key thing, when you see the word is, that typically means mathematically equal. When I see the word is, that means equal. So it says whose width is half the measurement of the length. Do we see that? So my width, my W, is half of my length. Make sense? And that would be my expression that would represent this problem. That's it. Okay? So we're reading to create the equations.
Did you also write that as 1/2 times L?
You could also write as 1/2 times L, yes. So you could also write it as W equals 1/2 L. Okay? All right.
Wait.
Yes.
It's if it says that it's half measurement, why is it the W equals 2 over here?
It's an L.
Oh.
Yeah, it's an L.
Sounds good too. I can see that. Wait,
It does?
yeah, like it's a. Like I just thought like it with the L.
Oh.
Like I just thought like it was like a weird ring.
Is that better? It's an L. All right. Okay, we're gonna keep going. Okay. All right. Now we're gonna make another one. It says 2 consecutive integers. So it wants us to be able to represent 2 numbers that go back to back, right?
1 and 2.
Like 1 and 2, 3 and 4, but we got to write it in terms of an equation.
So integers, I don't know what.
Integers just means you're counting numbers. So 1, 2, 3, -1, -2.
Oh, okay.
Those are called integers. Integers do not have decimals or fractions in them, other than
Oh, is this called
negatives are integers.
Oh.
Negatives are part of your integer family. Your whole numbers and their opposites.
2 consecutive.
Like 1 and -1?
1 and -1, 2 and -2, 3 and -3. So the whole number and its opposite. All right, so 2 consecutive integers. How can I write that mathematically for any and all consecutives?
I don't know, man. Oh, you have to like make an equation for one consecutive.
Or just have one be a variable and the other. So it's about setting up. Not a number line, we're writing variables. In terms of a variable, how can I represent this?
X negative X.
So we can have an X. X is gonna be what? X is gonna be your first number, your second number, your what?
First.
X would be our first number. And then how would I find the second number? X plus 1. That's it. Look at that. Rule made.
Oh, that's-
That shows that these 2 numbers will be consecutive. So if X is 1, what's 1 plus 1? 2. If X is 4, what's 4 plus 1? 5. Is it going to always give me a number and it's consecutive?
It's gonna be like X plus 1, X plus 2, X plus 3.
Exactly. If I kept going, right? Does that make sense? Okay. Again, it's just about being able to read and set up. Okay. Yes.
That's not really
It's it's an unknown. It's an expression.
Just use like anything you want, like any number, like letter.
So now if I say X is 100, what would you say follows 100?
It's gotta be X,
101. No.
like N.
Yeah. N plus 1, Z plus 1, whatever variable tickles your funny bone. What? All right, let's write another one. Here we go. It says the base and height of a triangle whose height is less than 5 times its base. Ooh, that's pretty wordy. I'll repeat. The base and height of a triangle whose height is less than 5 times its base. Okay, say again.
5 feet minus.
Ooh.
3 less than 5 times.
So our variables are B and H. And it says H is 3 less, which means that 3 has to be negative, and we have to be multiplying something by 5. So Z said H is minus 3. The multiplication happens before the subtraction, right?
So the word less after it would
Yes.
How would you solve that?
You can't solve it. You don't have any more information.
Okay.
So like if it says, okay, now you have it and your base equals 2. What is your height? What is it?
No.
If base is 2, what's my height?
4.
4. Why is it 4, Emma?
But it says it's what?
I was like, 4. Why 4, Emma?
Because you
Five.
5.
Guys, what is 5 times 2? What is 10 minus 3? 7. So what is my height? 7.
Yo, so I was right.
Yes, that's why I asked Emma. Emma, why is it 4? No, Emma, why is it 4?
We didn't get the height.
If I let yes,
I thought it was like 25.
because why did I choose 2?
Yeah.
Because you're just saying, is there an answer? And I said no, unless you know what a variable is. Like if B was 2, I can say B is 100. And if I say B is 100, then what is the height?
Not 497.
There we go.
That's too much.
So your job is to create so that from here on out, the problem's easier to solve. Okay. All right. Part 4. I guess it started on the front still.
Wait, so our raffle is X on the X plus 1?
Yes.
Is the B equal like 3 over 5?
What do you mean?
The B, can we calculate the B?
Can you get B by itself?
Yeah.
If you got B by itself, you would have to add the and then divide by 5.
Okay.
So in terms of the base, it would be. So now if I know my height and they said, okay, your height is 22, then it would be 5 is my base. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right, part 4. So part 4 now is that we're going to actually solve. Okay, we're gonna not only do we have to create the equation, we're now giving enough information to solve.
This is why I hate work.
So this part is where it gets hard because not only are you just setting up, but you're using all of your skills to solve. Okay, so yes, it's more work. So if you are a person who writes big, I'm going to tell you, you may want to start the problem on your notebook paper, or if you take up a lot of space, because it's going to require more space than what I can give you. I gave you the word problems because I didn't want you to have to try to write down everything on the board. But if you're a person who writes a lot, you may want to work it on your notebook. Got it? Okay. So our first problem, we're going to start off easy. We're going to start off super easy right now. Okay. 11 and 12, you should have plenty of space on here. After that, just a little different for 13 and 14. 11. The area of a square is 144 feet square. What is the side length? This is geometry 101. What is it?
12.
Well, okay. This problem has appeared on the SAT before as the first problem. How many of you learned that the SAT problems go from easy to hard? This is considered a problem that when it starts at the SAT, you should be getting it right. Okay, because it's considered to be one of the easy math common sense ones. If I have a square and its area equals 144, that means that I had to multiply the sides. So what one number did I multiply twice? 12. So it'll be 12 feet. Easy enough? Make sense? Okay, using that same logic, I want you to do 12. Again, these are the type of problems that we should be getting right on standardized testing. So if it says the area of a circle is 81 pi square inches, find the radius. First off, you have to remember the formula for area of a circle. What's the formula for area of a circle? Area equals pi r squared. Okay, so it tells you, here's your area. What is the radius? Why is it 9, Lydia?
Because 9 times 9 is 81.
9 times 9 is 81.
Yeah.
So it's
But it's not pi.
pi is a number, and if it's on both sides, it doesn't matter. So you're just looking at r squared equals 81. And so r equals 9. Oh, we're not gonna be ready for our test tomorrow.